Welcome back to Literally My Life, My Guide to Girlhood, the podcast where growing up is messy, glowing up is spiritual, and no one's got it figured out, but we're showing up anyway. I'm your host, Alexandra El-Amin, Chicago Barbie, Boulder bound, soft but not to be played with, and this season we're healing in private, glowing in public, and becoming women we actually like. Let's get into it. Hello, and welcome back to yet another episode of Literally My Life, My Guide to Girlhood. I am so excited to be back this Monday, especially after missing last week. I'm so sorry, guys. My schedule has been a little hectic now that I've been doing interviews again. I took a little break. I took a little time off, but now I'm back and it just got really bad and I forgot to schedule you guys, and I know I'm sorry, but you guys are my first love always, so I'm really, really sorry. Today is a very, very special episode. I think it is the best time to do this episode because I really think it applies to my life. You know, I always say I like to do episodes that are kind of centered around what's going on in my life because it's literally my life. And this episode really applies to my life because I'm slowly, very slowly, but surely getting myself out of a funk. So that's today's episode title, and my subtitle is Your Emergency Guide to Shaking the Blues, One Hot Girl Habit at a Time. This episode is for the girls that have just not been feeling like themselves lately. Like either they're going through some kind of disappointment, some breakup, like they lost a good friend, or they just don't feel like they're herself. Like something triggered that within you. This is for the girl that wants to get herself out of the funk, but doesn't really know how, doesn't know how to navigate this funk, doesn't know what to do. I'm here, I'm Alex, and I just went through a funk that I'm slowly but surely getting out of. So I'm really excited to be doing this episode. Before we get into today's episode, though, I would really, really appreciate it if you guys could follow our Instagram at Literally My Life MGTG on Instagram. The episode link is in the episode description below. And follow our TikTok, which also the link is in the episode description below on Spotify or YouTube and on Apple Podcasts because I be working. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to go see the more visual aspect of Literally My Life, which is the Alex El-Amin show, which is like more focused on my sports stuff. And subscribe to our weekly newsletter or bi-weekly at times, where I am Carrie Bradshaw with a sports mindset. Really excited. Okay, let's get into this week's episode. Okay, so the first segment, we're going to talk about the funk files. I'm going to tell you guys my story of how I kind of got into my funk. You know, I've talked about this in the last couple of episodes, but I've had a tough summer. I really like this summer. Like, let me make that clear. Like, I think this is probably the most exciting time of my life. Like, I'm about to move to Colorado. I'm about to embark on a journey that I think is going to be so great. And I've had so much time this summer to like rest and reflect and like hang out with friends. And I've had a really, really great time. However, there have been some downs to those ups. If you've been watching the video episodes, you saw I like went blonde for a little bit. That's because I was going through something. You don't just go blonde. Like I was like a honey blonde for a little bit. Now I'm back to black because I'm done with my phase. No, but seriously, it's like, oh my god, what a moment that was. I just went through a funk and I was sad about a situationship. I was sad about some family drama. I was sad about moving to college and feeling like I had nothing figured out. I was just sad about all of the above. But I realized recently, like, I can't let a situation like this throw me off so much. You know, I quoted probably last season this quote from Legally Blonde, and it's probably going to be wrong, but it was a quote that said, like, if you're going to let one stupid guy ruin your life, you're not the girl I thought you were. And I thought about that and was like, oh my god, wait a minute. Because it's like, you know, it's up to you, even though it doesn't feel like it sometimes, because I know like our emotions and our feelings can feel so heavy. It's up to you to make the conscious decision to get up every day and keep trying. And trying looks different for everyone. Like for me, it's getting up every day and filming and, you know, working and doing interviews and preparing for college and stuff like that. Because there was a time where I really just was so sad I didn't do any of that stuff. But it was up to me to get up every day and to try. And that's what I've been doing as of recently. It's been hard. Like, I'm not back on my game the way I used to, where I was, like, filming, like, 5 things in a day and doing all kinds of really cool stuff and whatever. I'm still only doing, like, the 1 or 2 videos a day. But that's me getting myself out of the funk. And then, don't worry, I'll get back to, you know, filming my entire life again from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. Because I used to do that at one point. Part of this funk has also been me, like, missing my old self because Season 2 Alex compared to season 3, I think we can tell there is a drastic difference. In season 2, I was the most like hyper independent, closed off person ever. And the only time I was vulnerable was with you guys. In season 3, I was hypo independent. And, just a lot more vulnerable and messy, and I guess a little bit more relatable and stuff. So I definitely do like that for me. But it was just a really, there's just a big difference. And I found myself kind of getting sad about having to do things alone. And it was like, oh my goodness, like Alex, like I used to be the girl that loved doing things alone. You know what I mean? Like I did everything alone and I really, really enjoyed it. I loved, getting ready at night by myself. Like, you know what I mean? Like taking my makeup off and watching Sex and the City or The Hunting Wives or whatever I'm watching, and then rolling up my hair and going to bed and like saying my prayers and stuff. And I used to romanticize that routine so much. I used to look forward in the middle of the day to the time of night where I could go to bed and watch Friends. And then I was like doing that and I was like, oh my God, I wish there was someone here with me, or I wish I had someone. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so not like me. I like actually got uncomfortable with the thought of being alone. So I'm like slowly but surely returning to the comfortability of being alone, because, in the end of the day, like at the end of the day, who do you have? Who do you have but yourself? You come into this world alone, you leave it alone. I, over the last couple of years, have really spent time to get to know myself and to really enjoy being by myself. I was the girl that could go to lunch by herself. No book, no phone, have fun too. I was the girl that could raw dog on a flight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't need a book or like internet access or a movie to watch. I could sit in my own thoughts for like 3 or 4 hours. Like, I was that girl. And I've let the idea of like getting excited about Mr. Barely There take that away from me. But I'm so back, and I'm so ready, and I'm so back in business. Now we're gonna get into our second segment, which is our funk busting favorites. Okay, here are the specific things that got me out of my funk and that always pull me back into my energy. And the first being prayer. There have been several times I have prayed the most sad and the most desperate prayers, because God is the only person that I would like to see me that vulnerable, but hey, sometimes some stuff spills over. And God will listen and like fix my heart. Like literally take the broken pieces and just put it back together. There have been so many times I've like cried at night while praying, like, God, just like let me forget about him, or God, just please heal my heart, or God, I'm so much sadder than I'm presenting, like please fix this, or whatever. And that's me being super vulnerable with you guys, but there have been so many times I've done that. And God's had to really put 2 and 2 together. But there's such a calming but beautiful peace that you get when you pray. There's such a beautiful peace when you get when you pray. And I would pray and I'll be worried about something, and then I'll start to feel like the burden actually lift off of me. Like that's how I know God is real. Really unrelated, but like a lot of people be like, well, how do you know God's real? Like that's how I know. Like that feeling right there, that lets me know God is real. And so I just feel so at peace when I pray. So that's like a thing. I like pray and I'll tell God all of my problems in very, very specific detail. And God will literally take them and just be like, they're mine now. Leave every burden at the cross because I'm going to fix it. And it's up to me to worry or pray, because you can't do both, and just let God have it. You know what I mean? It's up to me to just let God have it and to let it go there. Because that's one thing I think I forgot. God is bigger than your heartbreak. God is bigger than your depression. God is bigger than your divorce or your mortgage or going to college and being scared, or your social anxiety or your eating disorder or whatever you're going through. God is bigger than that. And that's something that I have forgotten along the way. I've felt like my problem was really the worst thing in the world. And then I remembered God is so much bigger than that. God is bigger than anything I can face. Anything. I could be hit by a semi-truck right now in critical condition. God is bigger than that problem. You know what I mean? Like God can fix that. He's bigger than everything. And I underestimated his power because, I'm not the best Christian at times, but I really underestimated God, and just realizing his power, even now, just saying it out loud, really helps. You know what I mean? Like, and God is bigger. Second thing, setting boundaries. Today I set a boundary, and I'm learning to set more boundaries because I unfortunately let people kind of walk all over me. Not walk all over me. Well, yeah, no, I let people walk all over me. But I'm getting sick of it. I'm sick of having people in my life who obviously don't really care about me or don't really want to be there. Sorry, I had to yawn. I've had a couple of friendships like that within the last couple of years, and I've been learning to set boundaries so that I can prevent that from happening in the future. I'm doing better every day. So set boundaries. I decided not to go to a space, spaces I don't need to be in, or spaces I'm not welcome in, or it's just be in places that won't make me feel better. It's a boundary I have now. I only put myself in rooms or only put myself in conversations where I know I'll be cherished and valued and where I deserve to be, nothing less. Playlist, a lot of Praise Him in Advance by Marvin Sapp. Played that this morning as soon as I woke up. Really helped get my mood together. If not, gospel music, which I highly recommend. I have been liking, this is going to be crazy, he's my circular temptation, I guess, Yeet. I used to that's crazy because I used to not like Yeet. Yeet was not my thing. But I like him now. I don't know what it is. Yeet is doing something for me. I've been listening to On the Line lately, and I'm this is so good. Wait a minute. Comfort meal? My comfort meal. Oh my god, I can't believe I wrote that down. It's always Chipotle. Chipotle is always going to be my comfort meal. I will literally, this is my most comforting thing. If I've had a bad day, I want to order Chipotle, go pick it up, because I'm not a Postmates girl anymore. Go to Chipotle, go pick it up, come home, take a bubble bath, a really nice hot bubble bath. Take my makeup off, because there's nothing better than taking your makeup off after a long day and not sleeping in it, which I can be very guilty of at times. Take my makeup off, put my hair up in some messy Wovicki bun, and eat my Chipotle and watch Sex in the City. I finished Sex in the City now, so I don't know what to do. I don't know what to watch. I don't have a comfort show. I'm watching Reba. I'm I don't know what to watch because I love Sex in the City. My guilty pleasure show has been Sex in the City as of recently. I even did my last newsletter and my last podcast episode, I completely forgot, on the whole Carrie and Mr. Big situation. And she ended up with him. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. I don't know how in the world Carrie can still crave. Carrie has no self-esteem, I swear. My favorite scent, vanilla. My favorite thing to get me back out there is just lots of self-care. These are just the habits that help me. They don't have to help you, but these are the habits that help me. I went and got my nails done, and I went back to black, and I got my hair done, and then today I spent an hour doing my makeup. I did this glam for my video watchers. If you're not, I would really appreciate it if you watch the video instead of listening to the audio, because my makeup looks really good today. Just doing stuff for myself, because when you look good, you feel good. I've just been doing stuff like that, eating a little healthier, going to bed, getting more sleep. Just stuff for me, just working on me so I don't trip on you. How about that one? All right, third segment. Hot girl habits that save me, okay? These are the small daily rituals that make me feel like the main character again, even if they're incredibly basic, because so was Lauren Conrad, and that girl screamed main character. I miss Lauren Conrad. Okay, making my bed. Literally make your bed in the morning. This will help you so much, okay? This will help you so much. There's no better feeling than leaving out and coming home to your bed made up and your room clean. It actually is so comforting. I didn't realize how much that helps my mood, but that's a big thing. Drinking iced coffee while journaling. I've recently replaced, in the last day or so, I've recently replaced iced coffee with beet and green juice again. I'm a big juicer person now. And so I'm off coffee. I'm on organic juice. Call me Courtney. Praying and affirmations. I was at a summit with Kobe White, who's a Bulls guard, recently, and he was talking about how he takes care of his mental health, and he said he prays multiple times a day, and then he was also talking about how him and another guy on the Bulls staff say positive affirmations before every game, and it was it kind of blew my mind. I was I didn't realize a lot of people did this. I didn't realize how common this was. I absolutely loved it though. He was talking about, I forgot his affirmations. I have it on video, so go check out the Alex El-Amin show. But it was just so great. It just shows how well affirmations help people. So if a Bulls guard is saying affirmations to himself to cheer him up, why can't you? texting someone a compliment. I love texting my friends like, good morning, gorgeous. Good morning, beautiful. I love you. You're so beautiful. Like, I just love pouring love into people. Like, it's just my thing. Dressing up to go with nowhere to go. I'm going to a basketball tournament today, and I have a full-on smoky eye. I have this like 3-step lip combo, this great like made-up glam. I'm not going really anywhere special. I'm just going to see a basketball game. An hour basketball game. But that's okay. That's okay. I can dress up if I want to. And editing my camera roll to make a That Girl album of myself. I actually just posted on Instagram as we're filming these. I just posted, oh wait, let's see how well it's doing. We can check my Instagram post. My friends are commenting. I just posted on Instagram, so you guys should go follow my Instagram. My personal one is El-Amin, E-L-A-M-I-N, Alexandra, A-L-E-X-A-N-D-R-A, 1-3. You guys should definitely go follow me. Okay, another big lesson that I've learned is, this is like the big thing that's been ringing with me all week. Have non-negotiables, okay? I am never in my life gonna let anyone make me feel like that ever again, no matter what they do, because I'm not going to let them. No person is ever gonna make me feel low or bad about myself. No person, no situation, no circumstance, nothing. Because the only opinion that matters is God's. And if God still says, I'm valued, I'm worthy, I'm chosen, I'm loved, then I'm valued, I'm worthy, I'm chosen, and I'm loved. Like, nothing is ever going to make me feel bad about myself again. And that's my biggest tip to, like, getting yourself out of a funk. Realizing who opinion really matters, and it's only God's. It's only God's. Like, your mother can doubt you, your father can doubt you, your friends can doubt you, your spouse or whoever can doubt you. But if God still says that you're worthy, then you're worthy. End of story. Because that's the only voice that actually matters. Nothing else matters. Literally nothing else. That's the only voice that matters to me now. So every other voice, I tune out. The voices, even my own subconscious that might say, oh, you're not good enough. Oh, you're not pretty enough. Oh, you're not this enough. Whatever. I'm like, you know what? I don't really care what you have to say about me. Because God says I'm enough. I'm going to let God do the talking for me. That's going to be it now, okay? And I'm never going to let, no matter what anybody says about me or does to me ever again, affect my self-esteem or my confidence or any of that. I'm never going to let that happen again. I'm so serious. So that's like a negotiable for me. I'm never going to let anybody knock me off my game like that, because at the end of the day, if you, like I've said this a million times, but if you have a pure heart and you have pure intentions with someone and they decide for whatever reason that they want to hurt you, that is not a reflection on you and 1,000% a reflection on them. Absolutely. Like, you might think like, oh my God, well, what did I do wrong? What did I say or whatever? But it's none of those things. And it's so human to go through that spiraling process, because I went through that. But it's nothing. It's literally, it has nothing to do with you and 1,000% to do with them. So don't ever let anybody make you question yourself. Ever. And remember, anybody who really cares about you would never leave you questioning. Remember that, okay? Let's get into my favorite segment, the Ask Alex, okay? Hi, Alex. You're such a light. Thank you. What do you do when you wake up and feel like there's no point to the day? You know, I'm totally guilty of this. There are like a couple of days I woke up and I'm like, I don't even want to get out of bed. I don't want to do this. I would definitely say pray. That should be your first thing in the morning. As soon as you open your eyes, like, let me talk to God. And if you're really feeling that bad about it, I would say talk to God. And just pray and pray and pray and tell him everything. And I promise you, by the end of it, you'll feel better. You more than likely will. That's what I do. Hi, Alex. I love your confidence. Thank you. How do you stay on social media when everyone else seems prettier or more successful? You have to create more than you consume. So as much as I record my life or put my life out there, I try not to scroll as much. Although I do like to watch other people's videos just to, see the trends and keep like up with what's happening and stuff like that. Comparison is the thief of joy. So I create more than I consume, for sure. Hi, Alex. Your vibe is so positive. Thank you. You guys are so nice today. How do you keep showing up for yourself when no one else is clapping for you? Because I guess I continue to show up for myself because I know somebody is clapping for me. And it's God. And that's the only person I need to clap for me, is God himself. One of my favorite Nicki lyrics is, I don't have to talk, the Lord defends me. Alex, what's your actual funk routine like when you're not trying to be aesthetic? Just prayer, listening to a lot of music, getting through the day, Not every day is going to be super aesthetic where it's like, okay, I'm going to get up and I'm hurting, so I'm going to get up and I'm going to work out and I'm going to cry and journal and stand on my head and look gorgeous and go to work. Like, that's not always what healing looks like, although that's what it is on TikTok for some reason. There are days where I like sit around my house and I just, mope, or I'll watch TV, or I'll cry and, and talk to my friends on the phone and just cry about my life. There are definitely days like that, but that's all a part of the healing process. Healing definitely isn't linear. So, yeah. Hi, Alex. I adore Literally My Life. Favorite podcast ever. Thank you. How do you reset when you feel like you're not doing enough fast enough? I would say try not to put yourself on a timeline. I used to do that, especially when I first started my career, and I'd be like, well, what's going on or whatever. But God's timing is the perfect timing. We shouldn't really put ourselves on a clock. And like I said, you're human. Give yourself some time. It took me a couple of weeks to get myself, and I'm still getting myself back together. And it's been like a month and some change. You know what I mean? So just give yourself time. Give yourself some grace. Hi, Alex. You make me feel really seen. I really love your podcast. Do you ever feel jealous of people who seem to have it all together? And how do you deal with that? No, but the reason I don't is because I have like people who come up to me and be like, oh, I love your videos, or I listen to your podcast, or I love your interviews, or whatever. And they say, you just seem like you have it all together. And I think I'm like, that's what you get from me, because that's how fake social media is. Because although in my videos I'm always like super happy, or things always look great, I definitely have a lot of tough times. I definitely have a lot of situations that I don't talk about on the internet. I definitely deal with a lot. I've been pretty open about it on here, but not everybody who watches my stuff listens to the podcast. So a lot of people who see my stuff just like, wow, she must just have a great life or whatever. And that's not true. So I just apply that same logic with other people. And you should too. Because like, do you post yourself on Instagram crying about a man? No. You post yourself looking hot. That's all they're going to see is you looking hot. So it's like 90, but that's like not all of your life. You know what I mean? Nobody really posts all of their life except for the Kardashians, but we're not them. Hi, Alex. You inspired me to chase my dreams. What's something small that helped you when you were low-key sad all the time? My mommy. My mommy helped me a lot when I was low-key sad all the time. I talked to my mommy a lot. It was my mom. My mommy and my best friend, those two really got me through the low-key sad all the time phase. I really admire your self-love. It's everything. What's your go-to way to bounce back after a guy fumbles you? You just have to remember that it's his loss, but he loses a lot anyway. No. You just have to rebuild yourself. It takes a lot of prayer, it takes a lot of journaling, it takes a lot of like spending time alone or spending time around people who pour life into you. It doesn't happen overnight. It definitely hasn't happened overnight with me, because I still don't feel 100% better. I feel like 40% better. I'm still like 60% to go. But I just have to continue to remind myself, like, he lost a beautiful and loving person, and I lost somebody who really didn't care about me, so his loss. Hi, Alex. Thank you for your vulnerability. How do you stay motivated when you're tired of trying? The people around me. God will pull through for me when I really don't feel like it. I think if you do your best, God will do the rest. That's like a thing my mom used to always say to me, and I would be like, what is she talking about? But she's so right. If you do your best, God will do the rest. So I'll try my best, and God will make up for, he'll see what I can do. So I would just say talk to God about a lot of this stuff. And when I'm tired of trying, I'll just say, God, like, please just give me the strength, give me the discipline, give me the consistency to keep going, because I just don't feel like I can do it anymore. And he delivers every time. Hi, Alex. Your realness is my safe space. What's one thing every girl should do when she's in a funk but doesn't know where to start? One thing every girl should do when she's in a funk and doesn't know how to... I want to say pray, but I feel like that's been the answer to like everything. I'm going to say remember who she is. Like I said, if you're going to let one stupid guy ruin your life, you're not the girl I thought you were. You are so beautiful. You are so smart. You are so chosen. You are so loved, and you are so worthy. And you just have to remember who you are. You are not what anybody says about you but the Lord. And the Lord says you are everything and more. You know what I mean? You're not what's said about you. You're not what you think about yourself. You're none of those things. You have to remember who you are. And you're fearfully and wonderfully made. You're perfect. Remember that. All right, last question. Hey, Alex. So glad we became friends. Hopefully our friendship can bloom into a pretty flower. So boom, I listened to season 3, episode 3, and it really got me thinking about my own relationship. I feel like I know who this is. I really enjoy it. It was so fruitful towards the actualization of how women put forth large portions of themselves without getting the same contributions in return. Ironically, the interesting nuances that I have now will somewhat. So basically, it's this boy. God, I know this is how it always happens. We started out talking, and I think he was added on Snap or whatever. I don't know how we became like talking, but we were. I was really mean to him in the beginning because I felt like he was only wanted to fetishize me as a trans girl. I told him that he was only a man in the meantime, but I know that truly wounded his feelings because it often comes up a lot in our arguments whenever he feels that I'm leaving him astray. But in regular, I just want stability and for him to accept my love in that moment. At this point in time, I never answered the phone for him. If he texted Monday, I responded Friday. These are his words, mind you. After that, we talked and he started to like me, but I stopped speaking to him because he wanted to keep me as a little secret, but I knew I was better than that. So fast forward, I start to answer his text message and he starts to treat me in a better manner. That's rare. However, in a sense, that was never a problem. He always treated me well, but in regards to position in his life and the way he spoke to me wasn't always the best. He often says that he is only going to love me if I allow him and as long as I allow him. He states that he knows how it feels to be unwanted and feelings of love. He contributes significantly to various aspects of our relationship, but the most significant challenges we face are his reluctance to reciprocate my romantic advances and ask me to be his girlfriend. He often says that he's just going to love me for what I can allow, but it's odd that I can't be his girlfriend when he's told me countless times when he's drunk that he loves me more than he loves himself, or how he would go through hell for me and back for me to be happy. He often speaks about only doing things to make me happy, but with me returning the favor, it's always an argument or a shout out. I don't want to leave him, but it's often really hard not being able to love him wholeheartedly. I feel like I used him for a lot of things, but he gets mad when I don't speak to him or in a sense treat him like my boyfriend, i.e. ask him for stuff or money. He prefers that. He tells me he just wants me to sit there and be his pretty little secret, and recently he's been calling me I can't say that word. I tell him that I don't like that word. I don't like that word. I tell him that I don't like that word, and we always get into a big fight about it because I have gay friends, and I tell him as a trans girl, even though I don't look like a man, that word still hinders women and people of trans experiences. I want to love him and give him what he never had, but I oftentimes see why he's never had it. I love him because I grew a liking for him, but I don't think he understands that. I love him because he never stopped loving me. Weirdly, I've tried to push him away, and he's still here. We've been sexual, and he's always very caring afterwards, but he's never entered me. Girl, a little detail. I'm just torn and don't really know how to go about this, and I know this could be a lot of info to digest at once. So let me know what I should do. Should I have a conversation and try to aid him with him being a damaged person, or should I pack it up? I really don't. Oh, this is more relationship. I do think he's right in some aspects. Like, he's right when he says, I can only love you if you let me. I used to be that girl. I used to be the girl that pushed guys away. I pushed away, probably the best guy I've ever met. And that's why I really got into therapy and worked on being vulnerable and stuff, because, that kind of thing happens. So I get it. He's right on that aspect. But, however, I do think it is weird. Okay, when you're talking about this whole thing about him not asking you to be his girlfriend yet, I can see both sides of that, because it's like, okay, well, if you want me to open up to you, why don't you want to put a label on it? But he might be reluctant to putting a label on it because you're so closed off. So I would suggest having an open and honest, conversation, hey, I don't feel comfortable continuing this without a label, and I will continue to open myself up to you, whether that's physically, emotionally, or mentally. Put that on the table and say, or I'm going to leave your ass, and mean it. Leave his ass and never look back. Him calling you the F word, though, is really weird. I don't know really how to digest that because I'm not a part of that community, but I felt offended for you. So I really didn't know. This is the one time I've been left speechless. I really don't understand. I'm calling you an F word. I feel like that might be a projected insecurity of his. He might feel that way about himself, so he's saying that to you. But you're not that, and that's such an ugly word to call somebody that you supposedly love. But I feel like that's more his masculinity feeling threatened and him feeling bad about himself, so he's saying that to you. And I would have a conversation with him and tell him that behavior needs to stop immediately, and either he's comfortable in himself and his masculinity, and he accepts you and loves you for who you are, or he gets the freak out. Point blank, period. I really hope that helps. I would just say, have a conversation with him. and tell him like, hey, I need the label and I need you to stop calling me the F word. Give him like a month. Doesn't do it, he's gone. And I know it seems like, oh my god, but I don't want to leave him and I've already gotten my feelings in. As someone who's just getting out of a situationship, I wish I had left him months ago. I wish I had just left him alone months ago. I don't know why I continue to let it drag on, because you're going to feel bad when somebody's gone, but you're also going to feel bad when they're there. So when would you rather feel? Okay, I really, really hope that helped. That was a really tough one. I haven't had a long one like that in a minute. Okay, guys, here's a little closing affirmation. I don't have to be perfect to be powerful. I'm allowed to start over whenever I need to. This week, I'm choosing romanticization over rumination. I'm choosing romanticizing things over rumination. Thank you guys for listening to yet another episode of Literally My Life, My Guide to Girlhood. I hope I was able to help you guys get out of a funk. I'm going to keep you guys updated because I'm only about 40% out of mine, but hey, that's progress. I'm back at work again. I'm moving to Colorado soon, and I'm super, super excited. Guys, do you guys realize our next 2 episodes are going to be our last ones filmed in in Chicago? These are my last 2 weeks living here. Okay, it's freaking me out already. I love you guys so much. Make sure to follow our Instagram and our TikTok, both links in the episode description below. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and subscribe to our weekly newsletter to stay updated on all things Alexandra El-Amin and My Guide to Girlhood. I absolutely love and adore you. Thank you for listening every Monday, and thank you to everyone who submits to the Ask Alex portion. I love answering those questions, and I want to thank God for this podcast and for everyone that listens every week. Love you guys. Alright, that's it for this week's episode of Literally My Life, My Guide to Girlhood. If today's chaos, clarity, or confessions hit home, don't keep it to yourself. Rate the show, send it to your favorite group chat, and follow for more real girl talk. New episodes every Monday. And remember, the glow up is internal and the soft life is earned. I'll see you next time. Barbie out.